The time is finally here. You're ready and excited to buy a home. Whether it's your first home, second, third, or 10th, it's always an overwhelming process and you can never quite remember where do we start. And so that's what we'll talk about today, kind of the 7 steps that will take you from beginning to closing and after when buying a new home. So we'll talk about getting started. We'll talk about meeting with a realtor. We'll talk about the shopping portion and looking at homes and that decision-making process. We'll talk about making an offer and then what happens after that offer is accepted, the closing process, and then what happens after you close. Once you're settled in, what's next? So now it's time and you're ready to move forward with the first step, which is really understanding what is your purchasing power. What is your budget and how much can you afford? And so working with a lender, coach, and expert in the mortgage industry to help you better understand what your purchasing power is, what's your interest rate going to be, what's your mortgage payment going to be, what's the down payment, and what other things do you need to know about ownership costs and closing costs as you get ready to embark on this wonderful journey of owning a home. So pre-approval is first. Must have it before you start shopping for homes. Now you're ready. You know what your purchasing power is. You have your pre-approval letter in hand. And so now it's time to get your partner, get your guide, get your coach, which is a real estate agent. And so finding the one that matches best with you with the right experience is what's key. For me, I have a lot of years of experience in construction. And so I notice and are able to pick out a lot of different benefits, opportunities, places where you can add value to a home that you purchase when we do our showing. So you'll go in and look at all the things that matter to you, which is where's my furniture gonna be? Where's our Christmas tree gonna go? Where are we gonna have dinner every night with our family? And I'll be looking at things like windows, doors, roofing, cracks, foundation, all of those different things. That's my role in the process as your realtor. So please, don't hesitate to reach out. My favorite thing is educating folks about their home and the investment that they're about to make. But please don't go alone. Please take time and meet a realtor that aligns best with you and your goals. Now it's time to go shopping and find that dream home. But your homework, all of my clients have homework, is this. You need to build your wish list and prioritize those items. So which items are most important to you? So things like you have dogs and you need to make sure that you have a yard, or you have younger children and so everybody, all the bedrooms need to be upstairs. You don't want bedrooms to be separated. You need a bonus space for teenagers. You need an extra guest room for folks who are traveling to visit. Make that wish list. Try and align as best you can with your significant other and family members. Everybody should be in the mix when we're making the list. And then as we start shopping for homes and looking at things, we may realize that some things are more negotiable than others. So we're okay if the yard isn't twice as big as the one we have today, as long as it's big enough for the kids to get outside, or the dogs or the cats, or for us to entertain and have a fire pit. So just make sure that you understand what your wish list is, what's the priorities, and which items might be a little bit more negotiable depending on the house that we find. Homework. Make that wish list. Surprise! We found the house that you love and now we need to move forward and make an offer. So there are a few things that are super important that I work hard to make sure that my clients understand and that I guide them through. One is understanding the market. What's the list price on the home that you're looking at and how does it compare? Is it priced right, and what should we offer from a price perspective? And so we take a look at comps. I make sure that my buyers are able to see, if I were to list that property that we're looking to make an offer on, would I list it at the same price or similar price? And what are the comps that I would use in order to determine that price? And then don't forget about your budget. We don't want to get a little too crazy. You know what your purchasing power is. Remember, that was the first step. And so are we within your budget, and is it comfortable for you to move forward at the price that we determine is best for the property? And then factor in all those contingencies. So maybe little things that you might want to update, change, do more of, do less of. All of those things we want to take into consideration, because once you get into the home and you want to make it your own, there will be some things that you want to change, add, update. etc. And then it's pull it all together. So I am your kind of paperwork guide. And so what documents need to be submitted? How does it need to be communicated to the listing agent? And then what needs to go with? We need to prove that we can pay for the home. So a copy of your pre-approval letter, or if you're not pre-approved and you're going to do a cash transaction, then we need to show proof of funds. So we need to make sure that we can show that we can purchase the property. And then I make sure all the North Carolina documents are prepared for you. And we go through each line and make sure that you understand what is in the midst of your offer. So it's the fun part. It's kind of the last calm before the storm. But I'll take you through every step of the way, make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and it's just the home and offer for you. Congratulations, your offer has been accepted and now you're under contract. So what's next? That's when I go to work yet again and make sure that all of the things that need to happen from all of the vendors are beginning. So the wheels begin to turn. And the first 3 things that I do for you is 1, schedule your home inspection. You need to know what you're buying. And so for me, I always recommend that my buyers have a home inspection and make sure they understand all the ins and outs of the home that they're purchasing. So we get that scheduled on the calendar. That's a 3-hour appointment for the home inspector. And so I want to make sure that that is done first because it kind of sets the stage for everything else while we're under contract. Your contract and documentation goes to your lender if you are getting a mortgage on the property. And so that starts the wheels spinning on the lender side of the transaction. And the first thing that they will do is get your appraisal scheduled. I also prepare an appraisal package for the appraiser. Sometimes I meet the appraiser there at the property and let them know how we came up with the offer price that you offered, and here are the comparables and why we came up with that number. Then schedule your closing. So it is the buyer's prerogative here in the state of North Carolina to choose the closing attorney. All real estate transactions are closed by a real estate closing attorney. And so we get that scheduled and on the calendar for the day that's in your contract. So those are the 3 things that we do right out of the gate. Once we get the result from your inspection, then we'll talk through all the items that the inspector found, because remember, it is their job to find things. Some of those things may be just small minor things that you're okay to take care of once you're in the home, or maybe there's some bigger items that we want to make sure get taken care of before you purchase the home, but we'll go through that in detail once the report is back. And then we'll also make sure that we understand the appraisal and that it works. All the math works for you, your lender, your budget, so that when you close on the home, your payment is exactly what you wanted it to be and was within your purchasing power. Then, day of closing, we do a final walk and we make sure that the house is in the condition that you want it in and it should be in before you sign on the dotted line. So that's what happens. Really, a big chunk of the activity happens when you're shopping and then once you're under contract. And there's a lot of moving parts, and I am your guide through that process. I keep track of all the dates, make sure all the paperwork comes through the way that it should, and really just kind of hold your hand through the whole experience, which my goal is to make sure it's the most amazing experience for you. Buying a house is a big deal. It's overwhelming, but it's also super, super special. And so I want to make sure that all the way through, it's a special experience for you. Now we head to closing. Couple tips for buyers. Make sure nothing changes in the world of credit during the life of the transaction. So don't run out and buy a new car, because that's going to have an impact on your final clear to close. So make sure that you keep everything in check. So no running up the credit cards with new furniture, no buying new cars, and don't buy a second house, right? Like, make sure that everything is neat and as it was when we started the transaction and we went under contract. That will slow us up if we make choices that don't align with the lender and what they need. The other thing that we do during this period is I make sure that you get a list of what all the utility companies are for the home so that you can begin setting up accounts for electric, water, sewer, trash if applicable, cable, any other services. Maybe there's a security system that you want to make sure you have your name on an account so you can start up a security system. Whatever it is, we make sure that all those utilities are set, and they are set to come on and be in your name on the day of closing. So we'll set up ahead of time. You call and set that all up and make sure that the day of closing, everything transfers to your name. So those are a few little additional steps that need to happen between all the other things and the closing day. Congratulations, you now own a new home. You sign on the dotted line, the deed has been recorded, and you own a new piece of property here in North Carolina. So what's next? Change your address. Make sure you go through Amazon, all of those things, all of those places that you shop and have things shipped to you, make sure you change your address. It's also a great idea to change the locks. Now you have the key that the previous owner gave you, but it might be a great idea to either have it rekeyed or change those locks. Make sure that you clean the carpets, and if there's draperies left, you clean those. Find your maintenance folks. So who's going to check your HVAC every year or twice a year, and make sure you establish a relationship with all of that. And then of course, if you live in a neighborhood where there's an HOA, make sure you know all the rules. What are the rules at the pool? Do you need a key for that? Do you have a key for that? Do you need a key for the mailbox? So on and so forth. So make sure you understand what the rules are of the neighborhood, what the HOA expects from each of the property owners in that neighborhood, and then enjoy. Have every moment be a memorable one in your new home. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for wanting to learn. The process of purchasing a home is overwhelming. It's a lot. There's a lot of steps. I'm here to take you from beginning to end and then so. We say here as a family, the Calden family, we say very often, I'm so blessed and fortunate to have had so many amazing clients who are now just great friends, and we spend time with them. Various events around town, various events around the holidays. And so we really enjoy and become very much a part of our clients' lives. And we love supporting you as you make these big moves and these big transitions to new homes and new chapters in your life. So if you want to see more about me, come follow me on Nikki Calden Realtor, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, I'm there. So come on and follow along. You'll see lots of things about family, lots of things about community, and of course real estate, which is my love and passion, connecting everybody to home. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everybody.